Oh my God, Joe Biden committed a grave injustice. He pardoned Hunter Biden, and that's horrible. No, it's not. He didn't commit a grave injustice. You would have pardoned your son or daughter. I would have pardoned my son or daughter under the same circumstances. And why do I say that? And a lot of people aren't going to like this. They're going to call me a leftist lunatic. They're going to tell me that I'm against the Trump administration because you're for Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Do you not realize how corrupt these people are, how evil these people are? Yes, I agree that they are all corrupt and evil. But this isn't one of those corrupt, evil elements. Pardoning somebody who didn't commit a crime, and let me remind you, committing a crime necessitates that there is a victim. And as far as I know, in these two charges, the gun charges and the tax charges, Hunter Biden did not create a victim. Therefore, he shouldn't be charged, he shouldn't be sentenced, and he shouldn't go to prison, and the pardon is completely warranted. Now, the unjust part of this is that everybody else who did exactly what Hunter Biden has done, or what Hunter Biden reportedly has done, everybody else who's done that same thing and is in the same boat should also be pardoned. That would be justice. The gun crime, well, first of all, there shouldn't be gun laws, period. This crime that he committed as he was a drug addict and he purchased a gun, you should be able to purchase anything you want anytime you want, because we have related to guns and ammunition, because we have a supreme law of the land called the Second Amendment. It says in the Second Amendment that you have the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed. And if anybody infringes on that right, then they have violated the Second Amendment. Hunter Biden merely bought a gun while he was a drug addict. He didn't commit a crime. There was no victim. Therefore, he shouldn't be charged. But because we live in the land of enslavement, the land of evil, the land of injustice, we have gun laws. Neither Hunter Biden, nor you, nor your relatives, nor anybody in the United States should be convicted on any gun-related charge, because there shouldn't be gun-related laws other than the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. And if there is a law that violates the Second Amendment, then that law is declared null and void. See Marbury versus Madison, 1803. So Joe Biden did not commit a grave injustice by pardoning Hunter for the gun charge. Now, what about the tax evasion? Well, we know what taxes are. Taxes are theft. More specifically, they are extortion. It's the government pointing a gun at your head saying, you need to give us a certain percentage of your income or we're going to heavily fine you or throw you into a rape cage. Well, guess what? That is extortion. That is theft. Nobody should be stolen from. Nobody should be paying taxes. Nobody should have their hard-earned labor taxed. See, all you got in this world is your time and your labor. That's all you've got. And the government is reaching into your pocket to grab tax money, which means you're basically working a percentage of your time as a slave. You don't have any say in the matter. So I don't have any problem with Hunter Biden or anybody else evading theft, because evading theft is a good thing. Instituting and initiating theft is a bad thing. So anytime somebody can escape from something bad, that's a good thing. So to pardon Hunter Biden for tax evasion and for having a gun when he shouldn't have because the laws, well, that's a good thing. Pardoning him is a good thing. Wouldn't you pardon your son or daughter for this exact same thing? I would, and it would be right to do so. Now, as far as magical pardoning powers, that's ridiculous, because governors and presidents who can pardon people, they're just people just like you are. This is this whole statist idea that there are people who have authority and there are people who don't have authority. There are people who are rulers and people who must be ruled. There are people who can steal from you and get away with it, and as long as they call it taxation, and there are people that are plundered. This is a bad scenario. This is a fictitious scenario. There is no such thing as authority. If you think there's such a thing as authority, who has a higher claim over your personal property in your life than you do? The answer is no one. And if the answer is no one, then authority is illegitimate. It's not real. It's fictitious. No state functionary has more rights than you do, even though they act like they do. President Biden pardons his son Hunter. Now let's read some of this right here. President Joe Biden announced Sunday that he has pardoned his son Hunter Biden, who faced sentencing this month for federal tax and gun convictions, marking a reversal as he prepares to leave office. Quote, this is what the president said. Today, I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. Remember when he said he wouldn't? And we all knew if you have half a brain, if you have two brain cells to rub together to make any kind of warmth, you knew that he would renege on that and he would go back and he would pardon Hunter. We knew that he was lying. Today, I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. The president said in a statement, it is a, quote, full and unconditional pardon, according to a copy of the executive grant of clemency. The official grant of clemency cannot be rescinded by President-elect Donald Trump. By pardoning his son, Joe Biden has reneged on a public promise that he made repeatedly before and after dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. The president and his top White House spokesperson said unequivocally, including after Trump won the 2024 election, that he would not pardon Hunter Biden or commute his sentence. We all know that he would turn coat on that and he would do it. The pardon means Hunter Biden won't be sentenced for his crimes, and it eliminates any chance that he'll be sent to prison, which was a possibility. The judges overseeing his case will likely cancel the sentencing hearings, which were set for December 12th and 16th, respectively, and the broadly crafted pardon explicitly grants clemency for tax and gun offenses from his existing cases, plus any potential federal crimes that Hunter Biden may have committed from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. So for a whole decade, he is pardoned of every federal crime he has ever committed in that time frame. Now, don't you think that Hunter Biden has committed real crimes? Absolutely. Don't you think we know Joe Biden has committed real crimes. We know Donald Trump has committed real crimes. Tax evasion and gun offenses aren't crimes, but these people commit real crimes. Now, am I saying that I would pardon, if I had the pardoning power, would I pardon my son or daughter who is offended and committed real crimes, like a violent crime like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer or Jeffrey Epstein? Absolutely not. I would pardon them for being put on the chopping block for no freaking reason. Now, the unjust part of this is Joe Biden should use his pardoning powers to pardon every single person who has not committed a crime. In other words, every single person who has not left a real victim. And how many people do you think are sitting in American prisons right now who have not committed a real crime, have not created a real victim? Hundreds of thousands, maybe a million. So if you're going to pardon Hunter Biden for these non-crimes, then everybody else should be pardoned for these non-crimes. In 8 years, how many people did Barack Obama commute the sentence of or grant clemency to or pardon? I think it was like over 1,700 people. 500 of those were, on I think drug charges, and 212 complete pardons by Barack Obama in 8 years. Donald Trump pardoned 144 people in his 4 years. If you can pardon your buddies, then you should be able to pardon everybody else. If you can pardon your son or your daughter, you can pardon everybody else. And the reason they don't do it is because, as we've said all along on this channel, it's not a justice system, it's an injustice system. It says this time frame, importantly, covers his entire tenure on the board of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma and much of his other overseas work, including in China. He had faced scrutiny over his controversial foreign business dealings, and Trump has repeatedly said that he should be prosecuted for his activities in Ukraine and elsewhere. There's no telling how many real crimes all these people are committing, and they commit against us every day. What about Zio international banking, central banking crimes that are happening every single day? What about the crime of inflation, which is the hidden tax which is caused by excessive money printing and wasteful spending? Hunter Biden's lawyers on Sunday night formally notified the judges in his criminal case about the pardon. He said in a sworn affidavit that he has accepted the pardon from his father. Of course he did. Of course he would, and of course you would. But here's what Biden says right here. The president further claimed Hunter Biden was singled out for prosecution only because he is my son, allegations that were previously raised by Hunter Biden's lawyers and resoundingly rejected by two federal judges. The judge who oversaw his gun trial in Delaware concluded that Hunter Biden's theory of selective prosecution was nonsensical under the facts here. So in other words, the judge is going, nope, he broke the law. And the judge is totally in on the injustice system too, because the law he broke just so happened to be unconstitutional laws, which means there shouldn't even be any consideration of any kind of charges, let alone a conviction. In a social media post Sunday night, Trump called the pardon such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. It's only an abuse and miscarriage of justice because Joe Biden is not pardoning everybody else who might be sailing in Hunter Biden's boat. Such an injustice, it's an abuse, it's a miscarriage of justice. In an apparent joke, Trump also asked whether the pardon includes his supporters who attacked the U.S. Capitol during the January 6, 2021 insurrection, whom he has promised to pardon once he's back in office. Why didn't you do it on your last day of office, Donald Trump? Interesting. And why wouldn't Joe Biden just put one over on Donald Trump, since he knows Donald Trump promised to pardon Ross Ulbricht? Why wouldn't Joe Biden pardon Ross Ulbricht before Donald Trump takes office? Talk about pulling the rug out from underneath him. He won't do it because the FBI won't let him, and Donald Trump won't pardon Ross Ulbricht because the FBI won't let him. I don't care who the FBI director is, Kash Patel or whoever. The FBI is not going to let Donald Trump pardon Ross Ulbricht. If he does, it'll be a miracle. And I'll come on and I'll do a video and I'll apologize for saying that he wouldn't do it when, let's say 2 years from now, he does do it. Hunter Biden was convicted by a jury in June of illegally buying and possessing a gun as a drug user after a gut-wrenching trial that delved into his drug abuse and family dysfunction. Then he pleaded guilty in September to 9 tax offenses stemming from $1.4 million in taxes he didn't pay while spending lavishly on escorts, strippers, cars, and drugs. As bad as all that sounds, there is still no crime, because Hunter Biden, in this, as it's described, produced no victim. Special counsel Dave Weiss, who is the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for Delaware, began investigating Hunter Biden in 2018 and filed both indictments in 2023 as President Joe Biden had the authority to shut down the probe or direct the Justice Department to dismiss the charges, but he kept his pledge to stay out of the matter until now. Both criminal cases revolve around Hunter Biden's decades-long struggle with drug and alcohol addiction, which he discussed openly, including his 2021 memoir. I have admitted to taking responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction. I'm not going to read the rest of that right there, but the bottom line is Joe Biden did right by pardoning his son, who was brought up on these bogus gun and tax evasion charges. But what makes it unjust is that Joe Biden isn't going to, across the board, grant clemency or pardon everybody else who might have done what Hunter did. And it's all part of the injustice system, the dog and pony show under the parasitic, psychopathic big top called Washington's District of Criminals. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. Do you think Joe Biden did the right thing? Do you think he did the wrong thing? Do you think Hunter Biden and everybody who does what Hunter Biden did should be thrown into a rape cage because of gun laws and because of tax evasion laws? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, know what your rights are and stand for your rights. Because if you don't stand for your rights, if you don't exercise your rights, you will lose your rights. I will see you in the next video.